Now I know from this problem I need to drink 9 cups. So I need either to change my 4,000 gallons over to cups, or I need to convert my 9 cups into gallons because they need to be the same unit. I'm going to convert the gallons over to cups. And I can either set up a proportion, or I can think about just doing my conversions as you may do in other classes like in chemistry or something. So I know that 1 gallon is equivalent to 16 cups. So I'm looking at 4,000 gallons being equivalent to X cups. So if I do that, I'm going to get that X equals 64,000 cups. So I know that that 4,000 gallons is equivalent to 64,000 cups. Now I can figure out my cost because I can say that 64,000 cups costs $40.80, and I want to know how much does 9 cups cost. So now when I cross multiply this and solve, I'm going to get that 64,000x is equal to $364.32. So when I divide both sides by 64,000, I'm going to get that x is approximately just over 1/2 of 1 penny. Because you think about it, the penny goes to the hundredth place, and I'm at 0.0057. So I'm not even half of a penny for 1 day of water when I drink municipal water. So then if I think about, well, what's that cost for a week? Well, this is 1 day. So I know that I'm paying less than half a penny for 1 day. And I know that there's 7 days in a week. So I want to know how much does it cost for 7 days. I'm just going to be multiplying 7 times that half penny, and I'm going to get that it'll cost me approximately 4 cents. Approximately 4 cents. Think of that. For a week of drinking municipal water, it cost me 4 cents. When I go to a 30-day month, I can do the exact same thing. I can say it's 57 ten thousandths of a dollar for 1 day, so less than half a penny, or a little bit more than half a penny, and I can say, well, I'm looking at 30 days. When I cross multiply, I'm going to get that, I'm going to do 30 times that almost half or over half a penny and get approximately that now it's going to cost me just over 17 cents. 17 cents for a month of water. And then lastly, if I want to figure out the year, what I really want to look at is remember that there's 365 days in a year. So again, I set it up the same way. And I'm going to use the 365 days as my way of setting this up. So I know when I cross multiply, I'm going to do 365 times this a little over half a penny. And that's going to be approximately $2.08. If I drink the allotted amount of water I need to drink in a year with Radford's water, which is clean and healthy, it'll cost me $2.08. That's it. That's amazing when you think about the cost of how much we pay for bottled water. So let's look at bottled water. Now, this is an example where the amount, though, is even lower than what most people are paying for bottled water because we're buying it in bulk. However, it does give a general idea of the cost of buying bottled water. So first thing, here, again, I know I'm looking at 9 cups of water, but here this is in ounces. So I need to convert either my ounces or my cups. So I'm going to convert this 9 cups to ounces. So I can say that 9 cups is so many ounces, and I know that 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces. So when I cross multiply, I see that X is going to equal 72 ounces. So that's one part I need. I know that in the end, I'm trying to figure out 72 ounces cost some amount that I don't know each day. And I've got to have, well, how much does it cost for when I pay $3.50, how much water am I getting? Well, what I have to pay attention here is that I'm getting 32 bottles and there's 16 and 9/10 ounces in each of those bottles. So I've got to multiply them together to find out that I have 540 and 8/10 ounces. So that's how much total water. So we're looking at the idea that I can get fractional amounts of water from these bottles, which we know is not necessarily going to be the case, but it is good to figure that out. So when I cross multiply my proportion, I'm going to get that 252 is going to equal that $540 and, or I'm sorry, the 540 and 8/10 ounces times X. I'm going to divide both sides by the 540 and 8/10. So that tells me that I'm paying approximately 47 cents per day if I buy water this way. So think about that. I was paying a half a cent for municipal water. Here I'm paying almost 47 cents for bottled water, and this is bulk bottled water. So if I think about how I did it before, I ended up saying that I was going to take that 47 cents and multiply it by 7 for 7 days in the week. And when I multiply it by 7, I find out in a week I'm paying approximately $3.26. In a month, I can take the 30 days, multiply it by that just over about 47 cents, and that's going to tell me that I'm paying about $13.98 in a month. And then if I think about this in a year, that's 365 days times that 47 cents, and that's going to give me approximately $170.09. Now think about that. When it was municipal water, I paid $2.08. When it is bottled water, and this is cheap bulk bottled water, I'm paying over $170. It's $168 per person, because this is the water needed for one person in your family. So think about that sheer amount, and about the amount of waste that you get from plastic bottles compared to using glasses and reusable bottles in your house. Which relates to question 5, and trying to understand, well, how much waste does this really create? So in the US alone, we're throwing away 107 million plastic bottles every day. Okay, so we want to know, well, how much is that waste? So a bottle is about 8 inches tall, so we either need to convert everything to miles or need to convert everything to inches and go from there. And so if we think about the fact that if we go through and do our movement through here, we could say that 8 inches is one bottle, and we know that there's 1 foot and 12 inches, and we know that that 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and then we know that we have 107 million of these bottles that we're looking at. And if we look, there goes our inches, there goes our feet, and there goes our bottles. We're left with just miles, and this is about 13,510 miles. Now you want to know how much that is compared to the Earth. Well, we said the circumference here is 24,900, so we know that if the circumference, that one circumference is 24,900 miles, we don't know how many circumferences are made by the 13,510. So if I cross multiply this, I would get that 13,510 would equal our 24,900 times x. So we're going to divide both sides by that circumference. And we get about 54 hundredths. Which means that it's wrapping just one day. We use enough plastic bottles to wrap around the Earth halfway around in one day. So then the question is, well, what does that look like then in a year? How many times could we wrap around? So if we think about what we just did, and in the last problem, we said that we had 13,510 miles from one day. And now we've got 365 days. So we can do 13,510 miles for one day. So if we multiply this by 365 days, this would give us about 4,931,150 miles of plastic bottles in a year. So if we want to know, well, what does that mean for what it would be in circumferences, as we did before, we said that one circumference is equal to 24,900 miles. And we want to find out, well, how many does that relate to for this 4,931,150 miles that we have. We end up here with the 24,900 x equals the 4,931,150. And we divide by those miles that create a circumference. And we get that x is approximately a little over 198 times. So the amount of plastic bottles, just plastic bottles we use in the US, is around 198 times around the Earth that we can wrap it in 1 year. When you think about how long plastic bottles have been used and how much more prevalent they're becoming, you start to see why it's important that we find other ways to get our water beyond just these plastic bottles.